To attract our target audience, we try to use characters that the audience could relate to. Our target audience is 15 to 30, and so we had two teenage characters for the kind of 15 to 18-year-olds to really attract to, because they can connect. Teenagers can connect to each other and things like that. And everybody loves a good horror story, and so anyone from 15 to 30 and over, we had all the creepy elements, spooky forest, guy alone walking, someone's following him. What is it? That appeals to everybody, I think. And so it was quite easy to attract the audience on that aspect. I think what's interesting is the older section of our target audience will be focusing more on the psychological element of it, and kind of how Reese is feeling and what's going on inside his head, whereas the younger section of our target audience will be focusing more on the horror side of it, being the spooky elements, wondering if what's going to jump out of the screen at them and things like that. Even though there isn't things that jump out of the screen, when you're watching horror films, that's constantly going around in your head. I don't want to be made jump. So that's interesting. And so, that's how we addressed our target audience, because you kind of split it. The older section, again, focus on the psychological, whereas the younger focus more on the horror. And so that's really interesting. People who are into psychological horrors / horror films like disturbing features in films. They like gore, and they like things to play on their mind. And if you think about our movie opening, it's actually quite disturbing when you really think about it. You open with this vision of a missing boy poster, and that can really play in your head at the beginning, especially if someone in the audience is a parent, which is going to be quite likely to be people who are parents watching this. The last thing you want is for your child to go missing, and seeing that is an opening of a movie can really get on your mind, and that's how we attracted our audience, by putting this disturbing element throughout of a missing child. That's what it comes down to. It's a missing child. Overall, I think we attracted our target audience by having this psychological element and the horror element, so our target audience can focus on different things, and we address them by having characters that kind of people of all ages can relate to, because you can either be a teenager, just be a teenager and be able to connect with that person, or you're a parent and you're connecting with the characters because you don't want to go through the same thing that they are. And I think that's how we did it, and I think we did it quite successfully.